Now, finally, for many of us, the sight of a traffic cone would bring anger and frustration. Not so for Leeds author Chris Madeley, who's used that as an inspiration to write a children's book. Meet the Cones is the latest offering for the woman from Madeley. So without diverting your attention any further, we went along to meet her.
The cones idea came to me on the motorway, surrounded by cones. We had an office in Bushey in Hertfordshire, and it meant travelling from Bradford to Hertfordshire up and down the motorway, sometimes twice, 3 times a week. And the number of hours that we spent sitting in cones, roadworks when they were doing the big junction by the Leicester Forest service station. And I just thought, I've got to turn this negative into a positive. And then the cones were born.
So what you were looking at these cones out on the motorway, were the characters in the cones already, you know, forming characters in your mind?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Initially, I only had 2, but then another 2 elbowed their way in. So we have 4 main characters now. Often you will see 4 cones together, either under a motorway bridge or in a town. You'd see 4 together guarding a hole in the road. That's why when I got the idea for 4 friends rather than just the first 2. The first 2 are called Constance and Conrad, and then they meet Cone Vera while they're still standing in a line. She teaches them how they can woggle away, which is how cones walk, how they move. And then they come across Conan, who is rather a naughty one.
So what stage are the books at now then? How did they come to be published?
We were introduced to Rick Armstrong of Fisher King Publications Limited, and he just fell in love with it, which is brilliant because I've got all these stories written, and the first 3 are now on their way. The first one has been launched, the second one is with the illustrator, and I'm just putting the finishing touches to the third one.
And you've mentioned the illustrations there. How are they illustrated?
A wonderful lady called Zara Hussain, who is a graduate from Bradford. And I think she can just see inside my head. She's just brilliant. She is modern. The colours are fantastic. She puts so much detail into her illustrations. Brilliant. I've had so many good comments.
And what is the content of the books then? What is the message which you're trying to get across here?
Initially, I started off thinking about road safety and education about the roads. Because if you say to even an adult, you know, what colour are the cat's eyes in the middle of the road? And they've no idea. And that was the initial thing. I thought if the kids understand the roads more, also a little bit of pressure on parents to stick to speed limits and points of safety like that. But very soon the cones got off the motorway, they went into towns and they had some adventures. And then other things cropped up like water safety, electricity cables in the streets, wet floors, all sorts of things. And book 3 is all about safety on trains and railway stations. And it's not a finger wagging, you know, thou shalt not do this, that and the other. It's all surrounding these young cones who are like children learning how to conduct themselves in life. They learn about friendship and manners, respect, all these sort of areas that children, you know, we often take for granted, but children need to learn these things. And if they can learn it in a nice way rather than, oh, why did you do that? You know, if they can just learn it as they go along, I think it's a lot more healthy.
So what can we expect? What's in the pipeline for the cones then?
Oh, gosh, they're going all over the place. They learn about cycling because, you know, the Tour de France and now the Tour de Yorkshire, of course, they've got to learn how to be safe in the cycling situation. Fire stations, hospitals, you name it, they're going out there.
There you go. That's a story we can continue to enjoy here on the air. I think it's time to go. That's it then from On the Air. If you want to have your say in anything you've seen tonight or you've got a story you want to share, get in touch with us on Twitter @MadeInLeeds. We'll be back with another update at 9 o'clock. But from your Made in Leeds news team, have a great evening. Thanks for watching.